back to another Mental Health Monday. It's me, Tiffany from Tiffany Empowers. Glad to be back. I missed you guys last week. I was actually taking a social media break, and I encourage everybody to at least try to do it at least once a month. Just disconnect from social media, get re-engaged with your family. Nature, spring is in the air. Get out, get some of that pollen if you're not like really severely allergic to it. And just reconnect, right? So I had a really good week, had a really good time, and now I'm back. This week, we're going to talk very briefly because I don't want to get into diagnosing or anything like that when it comes to this particular topic. What we're going to do is we're just going to do some basic clarification of what these two words mean. I've walked around, I've heard it, I've even said it myself, that I feel antisocial. And it was only about a month ago. I was looking online and I actually saw a sweater and it said Antisocial Social Club. And I was like, number one, it was $85. Number two, who would go and join an antisocial social club? But most people probably would, because we as society have defined antisocial as just being, oh, I'm an introvert, or I'm shy, or I just don't want to be bothered today, so I'm antisocial. That is wrong, my people. That is all out of context, all out of the way. So today it stops. Please stop saying you are antisocial. And I'm going to tell you why right now. Antisocial, that's the baby. Antisocial is contrary to the laws and the customs of society. Okay. These individuals, actually, it's a real diagnosis, right? It really is. It is severe and it is dangerous. And right now there's no treatment for it. It's called there's no effective treatment for it. It's called antisocial personality disorder. So antisocial is actually a personality disorder. Okay. Number two, these individuals actually look like or can be charming. They're very charismatic, but on the other end, they are murderers, rapists. They are bullies to the extreme. They rob and they're cunning. Think of like a Ted Bundy type of individual. That's antisocial. These people are what we consider psychopaths or sociopaths. So I know that nobody watching this YouTube channel is a antisocial person walking around with this disorder. So we're not going to use that term anymore when describing how we actually feel at the moment about interacting with society, because we are not going to intentionally, it's an intentional thing, violate the rights of others, and otherwise we're going against society. What you might be, I'll tell you in a minute. Give you a little bit of criteria and how, in my world, in therapist world, how you are diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. First of all, you're diagnosed at least at the age of 18. Okay. By 18, that's when they start to diagnose people with antisocial personality disorder. Okay. You have to, number two, you have to begin. Let me back up. At the beginning or before the age of 15, these individuals typically have had a history that would support the full criteria of fulfilling conduct disorder, which we will talk about next week. Okay. So conduct disorder is from 15 below, which can lead you into antisocial personality disorder. And again, we'll talk about that next week. And as I stated earlier, right now, there is no effective treatment for antisocial personality disorder. Okay. You typically get 3% of the male population actually have this disorder, and less than that in women. It's about 1% have antisocial personality disorder. You can typically find substance abuse in these individuals, prostitution in these individuals, just real risky behavior with no real remorse for anything that they do to other people. Okay. Please stop saying you're antisocial, because I'm going to tell you what you might be experiencing right now. It's called asocial. Who knew? This is the great thing, right? Because when we know better, we can do better, right? So these typical people, which some of us are, we just avoid society. Not against it, like antisocial. Antisocial is against society. Asocial is just, I'm going to avoid society. Okay, so I might be shy. I might be an introvert. I just don't want company. Okay, so that's the difference. So if you want to think about that, when we talked about anxiety, that may be under that umbrella of anxiety or social anxiety. And if you missed that video, you can head on over and look at that and see what that looks like. Okay. If you have any questions, any comments, you agree, you don't agree, leave it down in the comment box below. I love to hear from you. Please, the only tip for this week, stop saying you're antisocial. If you are a member of an antisocial social club, get out. You give this a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our Mental Health Mondays topics. If you need any additional resources, you can head on over to the website www.tiffany-empowers.com. We have a list of resources that is available to you right now. Always an additional tip. Make sure you're seeking therapeutic help outside of these videos. These are just tips and tools to help, but make sure you are actually connecting with a professional to get the necessary tools and tips catered just for you. All right. Again, take care of your mental. I will do the same. See you next week. You are not antisocial. You may be asocial, but you ain't antisocial. See you later.